He helped end the deadliest war in human history and saved millions of lives. He invented the very idea of the computer, the machine that now runs our entire world. He even dreamed that machines might one day think. And yet, for a single secret, the nation he had saved turned against him and destroyed him. His name was Alan Turing, a shy, brilliant, and deeply misunderstood genius, decades ahead of his time. For most of his life, the world had no idea what it owed to him. His greatest triumphs were buried in secrecy, and his final years were marked by cruelty and tragedy. This is the story of the man who taught machines to think, and was punished for being exactly who he was. Alan Turing was born in London in 1912 into a respectable English family. From the very beginning, he was different. A shy, awkward, and intensely curious child, he was fascinated by numbers and science long before he understood the world of people. Sent away to boarding school, he often felt lonely and out of place. His untidy brilliance baffled his teachers, who valued neat handwriting and the classics over his obsession with mathematics. While other boys played, Alan lost himself in equations and experiments, seeing hidden patterns where others saw nothing at all. He was a boy who did not quite fit, in a world that did not quite know what to do with him. But behind that quiet exterior, one of the most original minds of the century was awakening. At school, Alan finally found someone who understood him, a gifted and charming fellow student named Christopher Morcom. For the first time, the lonely boy had a true friend, someone who shared his love of science and his dreams of discovery. Alan adored him. But the friendship ended in heartbreak. In 1930, Christopher suddenly died of illness, leaving Alan utterly devastated. The loss marked him forever. Grieving, he poured himself into questions about the mind, the body, and whether the spirit could somehow survive without its physical form. That sorrow helped turn his thoughts toward one of the deepest puzzles of all. What is thought itself? And could a machine ever possess it? Out of profound personal loss, a revolutionary scientific question was quietly taking root. In 1931, Alan won a place at King's College, Cambridge, and there, at last, he flourished. Surrounded by other brilliant minds, the awkward schoolboy found a community that valued his genius. He immersed himself in mathematics and logic, the purest expressions of reason. Cambridge was alive with daring new ideas about the foundations of mathematics itself, and Alan threw himself into the greatest unsolved questions of the day. He was quiet and unconventional, often working alone, following his own strange and brilliant paths. And as he wrestled with a deep problem about the very limits of logic, he was about to imagine something no one had ever conceived before, an idea so simple and so profound that it would give birth to the modern computer. In 1936, at just 23 years old, Alan Turing published an idea that would change the world. To solve an abstract problem in mathematics, he imagined a simple theoretical machine, an endless strip of tape, and a set of basic rules that could carry out any instructions it was given. On paper, this single device could, in principle, perform any calculation imaginable. It was the very blueprint of the modern computer, conceived years before such a machine could ever be built. We now call it the Turing machine. With one brilliant leap of imagination, a young man had defined the limits of what machines could ever do and laid the foundation for the entire digital age. He then crossed the ocean to Princeton, sharpening his ideas among the greatest minds of his time. Then the world went to war. In September 1939, as Britain faced Nazi Germany, Alan Turing was summoned to a secret estate north of London called Bletchley Park. There, the nation's finest minds had gathered for a desperate and hidden battle, not with guns, but with codes. The Germans were sending their military orders using a fiendishly complex cipher machine called Enigma, which scrambled every message into billions of possible combinations, changing its settings every single day. Cracking it seemed utterly impossible. Yet the lives of millions and the very survival of Britain depended on reading those secret messages. It was a problem perfectly suited to the strange and brilliant mind of Alan Turing, and he was about to build a machine to fight a machine. Turing led the assault on Enigma. Building on earlier Polish work, he designed a powerful electromechanical machine called the bomb, capable of testing thousands of possible code settings at incredible speed, hunting for the one that would unlock the enemy's secrets. Day after day, the bombs turned, and slowly, the impossible became possible. The Germans' hidden orders were laid bare to British eyes. Historians believe that Turing's work shortened the Second World War by as much as 2 years and saved countless millions of lives. It was one of the most important achievements of the entire war. And yet, it was a total secret. The shy mathematician who had helped defeat the Nazis could tell no one. His heroism would remain hidden in the shadows for decades to come. When peace finally came, Turing turned his genius to a new dream, building a real physical version of his universal machine. He helped design some of the world's first true computers, machines that could store their own programs and be told to do almost anything. But Alan looked even further ahead. He asked a question that still echoes through our world today. Can a machine think? He proposed a famous test, now called the Turing test, to judge whether a computer could truly imitate a human mind. In doing so, he founded the entire field of artificial intelligence, imagining a future of thinking machines long before anyone else dared to. Once again, Alan Turing was decades ahead of his time. But Alan Turing carried a secret that his society could not forgive. He was a gay man, at a time when, in Britain, that was a crime. In 1952, after he reported a burglary at his home, the police uncovered his private life, and he was arrested and convicted of gross indecency. To avoid prison, he was forced to undergo a brutal chemical treatment that damaged his body and his mind. The war hero who had helped save the nation was stripped of his security clearance and treated as a criminal and a security risk. The country he had served in secret now turned on him in his hour of need. It was a cruel and devastating betrayal of one of its greatest sons. On the 7th of June 1954, Alan Turing was found dead in his home. He was just 41 years old. Beside him lay a single bitten apple. For decades, his name and his wartime triumphs remained buried in secrecy, and the world forgot the genius it had lost. But slowly, the truth emerged. Today, Alan Turing is celebrated as the father of computer science and artificial intelligence, the brilliant mind whose ideas power every computer and phone on Earth. In 2009, the British government issued a formal apology, and in 2013, he received a royal pardon. At last, the world came to honor the man it had once destroyed, the quiet genius who taught machines to think and changed the future forever. Alan Turing, the man who imagined thinking machines and taught the world to think anew.